He planned a surprise for our anniversary, but the real surprise was seeing him kiss my sister. That night, I lost my partner and my family, and I'll never be the same again. Hi Reddit, I'm Ava, 28, and I've been with my boyfriend Mason, 31, for almost 4 years now. We met at a community art event. I was running a workshop on photography, and he'd come with a friend who bailed halfway through. We ended up talking for hours. He asked if he could walk me to my car, and I remember thinking, this guy's different. And for the longest time, he really was. Kind, curious, smart in this casual way that made you feel like he always had some secret trivia about life. I fell hard and fast. I'm a freelance photographer, mostly weddings and family sessions, and he works in software, fully remote, with an odd schedule that always made planning a bit of a puzzle. But we made it work. We shared an apartment in Denver, split rent, adopted a goofy rescue dog named Oliver. We had routines, inside jokes, a drawer full of old movie stubs and random Polaroids, the kind of life that feels quiet but full. Mason wasn't always super expressive, but he showed love in thoughtful ways, packing my favorite snacks when I had early shoots, warming up the car on snowy mornings, texting me dumb memes. And I didn't need more. I thought this was it. Not flashy, not perfect, but real. About 6 months ago, though, things started to shift. Subtle at first. Fewer random texts. More vague, I'm swamped excuses. He started working late, or saying he was. Our sex life slowed, and he seemed distant, even in the same room. I asked once, jokingly, if he was cheating. He looked genuinely offended, said I was overthinking, and maybe I was. I brushed it off. Everyone has rough patches. I thought maybe he was stressed or burnt out. So when our anniversary came up, I decided to do something a little special. Recreate our first real date, dinner at the rooftop where it all began. I made the reservation, confirmed his calendar, even picked a dress he once said made me look like I stepped out of a painting. That night, I arrived first. I was nervous, a little giddy. I sent him a quick, I'm here, and waited. He replied 5 minutes later. Parking. Go ahead, I'll be right up. Odd. Mason's big on walking in together. Still, I smiled, went up, got seated. I waited. 10 minutes, 15, ordered wine. He finally arrived, calm, collected. Maybe too calm. Kissed me on the cheek, said I looked beautiful, blamed traffic. I believed him. For about 10 more minutes. Then he handed me a napkin with 4 words that changed everything. Call Emma. Emma is my sister. So there I was, standing on the rooftop, heart pounding, wine spilled, and the world going silent around me. I watched as she and Mason froze when they saw me. They looked like caught kids, awkward and guilty and unsure what to do next. I wanted to run away, pretend I'd misread everything, but I couldn't. This was real. I grabbed my bag and fled down the stairs, not answering Mason when he called my name. I caught myself in the elevator shaking, wine staining my dress, tears burning in my eyes. I left a tip and my phone number with the host. I couldn't let them talk to me later. I didn't want lies. I needed air. Outside, the cold night hit me, and I dialed my best friend, Jessie, not sure what I'd say. She answered on the first ring. Hey, I whispered, get me out of here. Her voice on the line, calm, supportive, was the only thing that kept me upright. We ended up at her place. I don't remember the drive, but I remember her hands on my shoulders in the kitchen, telling me I wasn't crazy, that I saw exactly what happened. That night, with Jessie's dog sleeping at my feet, I told her everything. How I met Mason, how we built our life, how I thought we'd built trust. Then I told her about the napkin and how they kissed. She said one thing that echoed. He didn't even try to hide it. That phrase got stuck inside me. The next morning, I did something I swore I'd never do in this relationship. I texted Emma, "We need to talk." That gave me terror. My heart raced. But I couldn't unravel this alone. I asked Mason to meet that evening. He agreed, saying he wanted to explain. I felt my stomach twist. Explain? For kissing my sister? For betraying me? That day was agonizing. I went through old photos, revisiting every moment, trying to see warning signs I missed. I dove through texts between him and his coworkers. Nothing suspicious. I found a few messages between Mason and Emma. Innocent at first. Nice haircut. Loved seeing you today. But later, miss you. I wish you were here. My fingers froze. When evening came, I sat on the couch, hands shaking, awaiting Mason. I rehearsed everything I wanted to say. Tell me why. I need the truth. How long? What I didn't expect was that I already knew, but I had to hear it. And so did they. That evening, Mason arrived with 2 coffees, black, no sugar, and an apology in his eyes that didn't quite reach his tone. He said he was sorry I'd seen, that it wasn't what it looked like. My hand shook so badly I spilled half the coffee on my lap. I didn't speak. He took a deep breath. "It's not what you think," he began. "I mean, it is, but it's complicated. Emma and I, yes, we kissed, but it wasn't planned. It happened after I dropped her off at the office. She looked sad that day, tired, and I was just trying to cheer her up. It was one kiss, one mistake. I swear, it didn't mean anything." I looked at the cramps in my coffee cup, then back at his face, my heart slamming in my chest. "Explain," I whispered. He swallowed. 2 weeks ago, Emma messaged me. She told me her marriage was failing, that she felt invisible, alone. We talked. So much. I didn't want to leave her side. And one thing led to another. He paused, eyes avoiding mine. I know it sounds awful. I hated what I did. I hated myself. But I couldn't stop. I felt like the floor fell away. Part of me wanted to retreat, throw everything away and never hear from either of them. But another part of me was furious. Furious that he'd betrayed me. Furious that my own sister had broken every line she'd ever crossed. My voice trembled. "How long?" I asked, barely above a whisper. He closed his eyes, struck by guilt. 3 weeks. A sharp pain cut through me. 3 weeks. I imagined them texting at midnight, sharing secrets meant for us, sharing jokes meant for my arms. It felt like they built a secret life under my feet. I felt my world spinning, so I grounded myself. "Did you talk to her after? Text now?" He nodded. "Yesterday, we called. Our connection. It's not gone." Tears burned. I tasted betrayal. My vision blurred. I shook my head. I didn't want more words. Then I felt my phone buzz. A message from Emma. "Can we meet? I want to tell you everything." Everything. Just those few words made me break again. I felt hollow. I was torn between wanting to vanish and wanting every single detail. I realized it was no longer just his betrayal. It was mine too. For loving them. For trusting them. For inviting them into my life. I took a deep breath and looked him straight in the eyes. "Tomorrow, noon, I'll meet her. But I set the time, the place. Understand?" He nodded, defeated. And in that moment, I understood. The next day would decide everything. When I met Emma the next afternoon, my heart was screaming, but I kept my face calm. I chose a small art cafe midway between our places so neither of us would feel cornered. She arrived shortly after me, looked smaller than ever in her favorite green coat, eyes red. I didn't greet her. I just sat across, letting the silence hammer into her. She took a shaky breath. "Ava, I'm so sorry. I said nothing. Nothing excuses it, she began, voice thin. I messed up. I loved her. And you. And I didn't know what the hell to do. Mason and we got close when we both needed someone. He listened. He understood me in a way you didn't. I felt seen. Not just as your sister or someone's wife. As me. Her words hit like shards. Betrayal wasn't just cheating. It was identity shattering. I watched her, tears waging war in my chest. Not your fault. You hurt me, I said softly. But my partner, you both destroyed our trust. She closed her eyes. I know. I know. And Mason, he didn't reach out to me after. We tried, but it was weeks. I thought it was love. Thought I deserved it. But I was wrong. My throat tightened. It wasn't about who hurt first. It was about how to move forward. I wanted her to hurt. Just a little. Enough to understand the destruction. 3 weeks, I whispered. Tell me, who made the first move? Her lips trembled. She looked torn. I didn't. It was mutual. One night we said things we shouldn't. One thing led to another. She covered her face. I closed my eyes. Felt tears fall. You owe me the truth, I said firmly. Everything. Dates, messages, everything. She nodded, steeling herself. It started with texts 6 months ago. Thinking of you. I miss your voice. It got worse last month. Late night calls, secret dinners. Reminder of who I wasn't. Your faithful, perfect sister. He told me he felt alive around me. She exhaled. We didn't plan it, Ava. We didn't want it. But then it happened. And became easier. The cafe spun. I swallowed bile. And then, you planned it for my anniversary? She burst into tears. I wanted to die when I heard him say he'd planned a surprise for you. I panicked. I froze. I kissed him. And that's the worst moment of my life. I sat back. I felt nothing and everything. Broken, but not destroyed. Thank you. She looked shocked. For telling me the truth. But I can't pretend anything's okay. She nodded, tears streaking down. I understand. We left separately. No added drama. No punctuation. But the world had shifted. In that moment, I realized something. Sometimes the biggest climax isn't a fight. It's laying down the story, raw and true, letting the silence afterward do its work. After that meeting, my world felt like it was flashing through a glitchy screen. Jumbled scenes, fragmented emotions, endless questions. I went home and collapsed on the kitchen floor, hugging Oliver, our rescue dog, so tight I thought I might crush him. For days, I barely ate or slept. Work became a haze. I showed up, clicked through edits, took meetings, but I wasn't there. My mind circled the same torment. Betrayal, trust broken, family shattered. Jessie stayed by my side. She brought me soup, made me tea, and never asked what I was going to do. She just let me collapse into her arms when I needed to cry. That simple presence kept me from unraveling completely. Mason texted me that evening. Can we talk? I stared at the message for hours before responding. Not yet. I didn't know how to speak, to ask questions I was too afraid to hear. Emma sent another message. I'm sorry. I deleted it. My fingers trembled at the memory of her voice overexposed to tears. My therapist called this a trauma bond, the connection between me and both of them, built on love and betrayal. At first, I resisted. How could I love someone who hurt me? But she gently pointed out something. I still choose them in pieces, in memories, in years we built. That wasn't weakness. It was human. So I decided on boundaries. Mason couldn't come to my apartment. Our texts had to be about logistics, work schedules, Oliver's vet visits, no discussion of feelings, and Emma would exist only in therapy logs. I blocked her on social media. I took a weekend off and traveled back home to family. My parents didn't know everything, just that I was going through something. They held my hand and reminded me who I was before and after. In the quiet corner of my childhood bedroom, I learned I could breathe again. 2 weeks after the cafe meeting, Mason visited a public park bench near my place. I felt my heart flip when I saw him, sitting stiff and anxious. We talked. Short sentences, factual, no excuses, no tears. I told him I didn't know when or if we could ever rebuild. He asked what he needed to do. I shook my head. I don't know. That night, I deleted all their photos from my phone. Every picture that felt safe turned painful. I cried through each one, but when that was done, I sat in the dark and felt the first whisper of relief. Not from forgetting, but from purging. It's been a month since then. I've gone to photography shoots and found joy in light hitting a bride's veil. I've laughed at Oliver chasing squirrels. I still flinch when my phone buzzes with a friend's name, but the buzz doesn't make me freeze anymore. I've sent him one message. I need time. And he hasn't answered. I still don't know my next step. But I know this. I'm reclaiming me. I'm learning forgiveness doesn't mean you accept what happened. It means you stop letting it control you. And that's how I'll make my decision. Not with rage or tears, but with calm, measured strength. A few weeks have passed since our park bench conversation. Time, strangely gentle, has been doing its thing, healing, clarifying, reshaping. I'm still navigating the aftermath, but I feel stronger now, anchored in a reality that's raw, but honest. Mason and I haven't fallen back into old routines. We still meet occasionally, at dog parks, during the day. Nothing romantic. We talk about bills, Oliver's vet checkups, mundane life. He keeps giving space, and I, though wary, see his attempts to rebuild trust, even if slowly and imperfectly. Emma. I haven't spoken to her. I blocked her online, changed routines that remind me of her, and stopped letting guilt sneak in. I forgive her, eventually, but I can't be her friend again. Maybe someday, maybe not. Not because hate, just because too much irreparable has happened. What I have done is reclaim my own life. I enrolled in night photography classes, something purely for me, and I'm building a portfolio of urban landscapes under neon lights. I've reconnected with my body, with creativity, with moments that make me feel alive. I've taken solo trips, and yes, cried in hotel rooms at 3 a.m., but I remind myself, tears are release, not weakness. I realize now that the core of this story isn't about betrayal, it's about boundaries, about choosing your peace, about ending the stories that once defined you, and starting new ones on your own terms. So here's what I want to ask you. Reddit, YouTube, whoever's out there in your own moments of doubt, if the person you loved most betrayed you, and the other was your own family, would you walk away? Or could you choose to stay, rebuild, and be reborn stronger than before? And what would that actually look like?